Welcome back guys, Trey Lowell here, and in today's video, we're honing in on a $220 speed booster for Micro Four Thirds users, coming up next. And in today's video, we're talking about a rival to the Metabone Speed Booster, and that is the Commlite 0.71 Speed Booster from the guys at Commlite. I do have to give a small disclaimer. They did send me this item, but that doesn't mean that I can't give you honest feedback in regards to this piece of tech. Now, what I can tell so far over the past few days is that this $220 speed booster really does come in handy for any of you guys that own Canon EF mount glass. Now, specifically, this booster is dedicated to taking EF mount lenses and being able to adapt them to Micro Four Thirds lenses. From what I can tell so far, it is a pretty well-built item. You're going to have the ability to do firmware updates through USB. It's going to have the ability to kind of get the closest to full frame as we can possibly get on a Micro Four Thirds camera, similar to the Metabone Speed Booster. Now, what I've also noticed with this guy is that when I do actually connect it to glass, that is a very reassuring noise in regards to quality and is this thing connecting and actually going to function properly. Now, what I found out so far is that that is a nice smooth connection, and I've had no trouble putting it on the Panasonic GH4 and GH5, simply lining it up, and we're in business. It feels nice and sturdy, and this is with the 50mm f1.8 Canon glass, and then I've also experimented with the 24-105 f4 Canon piece of glass. When teamed up with the 50mm, it's going to drop it down to an f1.3, and when teamed up with the 24-105, that f4 gets dropped down to an f2.8, which is a nice little addition when you buy the speed booster. Going to be great for lower light situations. The booster is also going to support autofocus. One small disclaimer, I really don't find myself using autofocus. Now, I'm not going to blame that on this actual speed booster because I have the same issue with my Metabones. With these Canon pieces of glass, the actual autofocus motor noise is a little ridiculous and over the top, and I do find that it does a lot of searching, similar to this clip right here. All right, so currently auto face tracking. Want to at least give you guys a little bit of a taste of how it's working. Now, this is paired up with the 24-105, so I'm interested to see how it's working. Other features are going to be electronic aperture control, which is going to be fantastic. You're going to be able to see what your aperture is. Also comes with an IS function, which means if your camera has in-body image stabilization, you're going to actually be able to have that function. So now, after hearing all those specs, rather than sitting inside any longer, let's hop right outside and check out some of this footage shot with these two pieces of glass outside. So meet George, he's the hired talent today, and currently watching him at 24 frames at 4K, jumping into 4K 60 and moving our way to 1080 at 120 frames per second. Next up, Darla Dog coming in 4K 60 and jumping into 24p at 4K. Next up is some soccer kicks. We're going to do 4K at 24 frames. We're doing 4K 60, and we're doing 1080 at 120 frames. And now back to Mick Goober wandering around at 4K 60. 4K, 8-bit, 60p on George as we are. Oh, there. Okay, so vlog mode, shooting 4K, 8-bit, 24 frames, just going handheld. And while it's pretty heavy, you guys can see how wide of a shot this is. We're shooting at a f3.2 to combat the sun, but let's go down to that 2.8. For the sake of this review, this is straight up manual, handheld, 24 frames per second, 8-bit. You guys can kind of get a sense of how does it look, how does it feel. So now after filming outside, filming inside, and spending a few days with the Commlite Speedbooster, I've got to be honest with you, after spending $700 on the Metabones, this guy arriving in the mail really makes me regret spending all that money. And you're probably wondering why. Well, from what I can tell so far, when synced up with these exact pieces of glass, I've gotten fantastic images, the stabilization's been great, and functionality has been awesome. And like I said earlier in the video, as you guys can hear it, I love hearing that sound because it reassures me that it's nice quality and it's nice and snug in there. So overall, coming in at $220, this Commlite Speedbooster for Micro Four Thirds cameras, specifically for EF mount to Micro Four Thirds, I think is a great option for many of you out there. Rather than going ahead and spending all that money to get the Metabones for $700, I was able to pull this one right out of the box, throw it on the camera, throw on the glass, and boom, it is right on pace with the Metabone Speedbooster. So my overall conclusion is, rather than breaking the bank, I recommend a lot of you guys go online, do your research on the Commlite, see if it fits your needs, and if so, give it a swing. And hey guys, it's Trey Lowell with Lowell Productions, and as always, if you like the content, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like this particular video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I want to give a special thanks to the guys over at Commlite. Make sure to go check them out on Amazon and on all the social media platforms, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Knock this down to that f1.3. Get that blown out.